Welcome back to Geomatics. This is question 9 of the Nov-Dec 2023 Wassce examination. A city T is 12 kilometers from a bus station K on a bearing of 070 degrees. Another city V is 10 kilometers from K on a bearing of 160 degrees. A. Represent the information in a diagram. Then B, calculate the distance between V and T. And then II, calculate the bearing of V from T. Then the C says if N is a town on TV such that KN is perpendicular to TV length. Okay, this is actually TV length, KN length to TV length. Find the distance between N and T. So this is a bearing question. We are going to break it down and make it as simple as we can. Okay, so let's start with a diagram. You are supposed to take note of the keyword from in bearing questions. That is the keyword that you need. From. Said a city T is 12 kilometers from a bus station K. So it means that we are moving from K to T because the city T is from K. So your first diagram you should draw is what? K. And it says that it's on a bearing of what? 070 degrees. That's a 3-digit bearing. Okay, so first of all we're going to draw like a plus. That's how you go about solving our bearing question. So we are going to draw a plus like that. Okay, then we will label this as our K because you are moving from K, and it says the bearing is what? 070 degrees. So you're going to measure from the north of K 70 degrees. We know 70 degrees will be in this quadrant. Okay, be in this quadrant. Okay, so by using my eye, I know 70 should be bigger than the remaining angle. So I will draw a line from the middle to that particular town. It is called town what? T. The moment I arrive, I also draw a vertical line to touch that point, then a horizontal line so that these lines meet at this point. So that point is what we call point T. Okay, so this is the town T. So we are saying that from here, from the north of K is 70 degrees. So a city T is 12 kilometers from a bus station K. So this is the bus station K because we started from a bus station. So K, that means you are moving in this direction. And they said that the distance is 12 kilometers. Very good. So a city T 12 kilometers. A city T is 12 kilometers. This city T 12 kilometers from a bus station K on a bearing of what? 070 degrees. So bearing is measured from the north. Okay, in a clockwise, in the direction of the clock. Clocks move from the right this way, clockwise. Okay, clockwise. So we started from the north, measured 70, and the remaining angle is going to be what? At 20 degrees, because the total is what? At 90 degrees. Okay, let's move on. Another city V is 10 kilometers from K on a bearing of 160 degrees. So where are we moving from? It's still from K. From K. Okay, so we're going to measure this bearing from the north of K. So it's another city V is 10 kilometers from K on a bearing of 160 degrees. In bearing questions, you should also be careful with the distances that you are given. Although you are not drawing it to scale, you can see 12 kilometers is definitely longer than 10 kilometers. So how does that inform us in our diagram? We are first of all going to measure 160 degrees from the north of K. We know from here to this part is 180. So 160 will be in this quadrant. First, second, third, fourth quadrant. First quadrant, second, third, and fourth. So it's going to be in the second quadrant because the total is going to be what? 180. And so 160 will be lying somewhere here. The key thing to note is that in drawing that line, we could have drawn that line as long as we can because we are not drawing to scale. But take note that if from here to this point is 12, then definitely my 10 shouldn't exceed this mark. Okay, this is from here to here, it was 12. So my 10 shouldn't go beyond and say that this is 10 because it's not drawn to scale. So I'm going to draw something like this. You see, it's enough. It doesn't actually exceed. Okay, then the moment I get there, I draw my vertical line, then I put my dot and I draw my horizontal line as well. Let me extend the knot of this. So it says that another city vein. So we are going to note that this city is what? Vein. So another city vein, 10 kilometers. I mean, the distance from K to vein is what? 10 kilometers. So another city vein is 10 kilometers from K. So this vein is 10 kilometers from K, but on a bearing of 160. So from here to this line should give us what? 160. If from here to this side is 90, 90 plus what is going to give us 160? It's going to be what? 70. So it means the angle inside here is 70, leaving the remaining angle to be what? 20 degrees. Okay. Then we join the middle of this T to the middle of this to form a triangle. Can you guess the triangle we have here? Since one side of the triangle, one angle, internal angle is 20 plus 70, it means that this is a right angle triangle and this is going to be the hypotenuse. So we will label this as x kilometers. So we've been able to represent the information in a diagram. So that's the first part of the question, but we could also deduce some other values. We can see that we can clearly see the angle here is 20 degrees because this is a Z, okay? A Z angle. So if it is 20, this is going to be 20, and this is also another Z. So if this is 70, this is also going to be what? 70 degrees. Let's just put any alphabet here. Let's call this 8 degrees because we're going to find it. So this is 8 degrees, this is 20 degrees because you don't know this. The question says, calculate the distance between V and T. So that is the first part. We have already done the A, represented information. So let's go to B. The distance between V and T, that is what? V and T. That's what we've labeled as what? X. If this is the 90 degrees of a right angle triangle, then it means a side facing this angle is called the hypotenuse. And we know from Pythagoras theorem that hypotenuse, which is in this case is x squared, is equal to the other sides, the sum of the squares of the other side. So 12 squared plus this side, which is what? 10 squared. So x squared is going to give us 12 squared is 144 plus 10 squared, which is 100, which is equal to 244. So x squared is equal to 244. So x is going to give us the square root of 244. Square root of 244 is giving us 15.620. I've taken it to 4 decimal places. Okay. Then did it ask us for any decimal? No. Says that calculate the distance between V and T. So I can now choose to approximate it to 15 point, let's see. Let me just use 15.62 and I write 2 decimal places. So I've been able to find the distance between V and T, and that is what? X. Okay, let's go to the second part of the question. It says that the bearing of V from T. I've already told you that take note of the keyword from. So from T means from the north of what? T. And this is the north of T. So it means that we need to find the bearing of what? V from T. That means a line or the angle measuring from the north of T to the line joining T and V, which is the V line. Okay, so it means you're looking for the angle from here up to this point, and we know from here to this side is 180 degrees. So it means all we actually need is this angle here. Okay, If we're able to find the angle here, we can just add it to 180 and we are done. How do we find the angle? You can see this is a Z angle. So this angle here is also A degrees because it is alternating this. That means that we need to find A in order to be able to find the bearing of V from what? T. How do we find A? We can use the trigonometric ratio tan. So we can say that using this side, we can say tan of this whole angle is equal to opposite over adjacent, and the opposite of this angle is this side and adjacent is going to be this side. Since we already know this to be the hypotenuse, so you say tan of this angle, it is 20 plus 8 degrees, is equal to opposite toa. So twice tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. So you're having opposite, which is 12, over adjacent, which is 10. Then we'll find tan inverse of both the left hand side and the right hand side. This is the same as 1.2. So 12 over 10 is 1.2. Okay, so this tan and this tan inverse are cancelling out. So we are having 20 plus A is equal to tan inverse of 1.2. That is giving us 50.1944. I like taking my values to 4 decimal places. So A is equal to 50. But you see, in angles, you don't usually have more decimal places. So I will have to approximate after I'm done. 1944. Then this 20 goes to the right, so it becomes negated. So we have A is equal to 30.1944. So I'll say A is equal to 30 point. I'll just take it to 1 decimal place since we are dealing in angles. So 30.21 decimal place. Okay. So that is the value of our A. Now that we've been able to find A, it means that we can find the bearing of V from T. So that is going to be 180 plus A. So we are going to have 180 plus A, which is equal to what? Or it implies 180 plus what is the value of A? 30.2 degrees. Giving us 210.2 degrees. So this is the bearing of V from T. Okay, so we are done with the II. The bearing of V from T is, that means measuring from the north of T to the line joining T and north V. So we know this is 180 plus A, and A is what? 30.2. So we add the 2, then we get the bearing of V from T. Okay, now let's go to the C part. It says that if N is a tau on TV length such that KN length is perpendicular to TV, find the distance between N and T. To go about this, I will redraw the diagram. So this time I'll make it a bit smaller. So this is our T. This is our K. And this is our V. Okay. So it says that if N is a tau on TV, this is TV. So N is on TV such that what? KN is perpendicular to TV. That means that a line from K to that N makes an angle of what? So this is N. Says that it's perpendicular, meaning that it makes an angle of 190. So KN is perpendicular to line TV. That means that when it meets TV, it gives what? A 90 degrees. We already know this to be what? 12. We know this to be 10. We know the total angle here to be what? 90 degrees. Okay, I've redrawn it because I don't want to use this side and then project it, because that's not what the question says. But we know it is from K to what? N. Okay, and we already know the distance TV, because that's what we found as the distance between V and T. So what is TV? Is 15.6. I'm going to take this 15.62 to one decimal place. So we know from here to here is 15 point. Let me just draw a line to make that clear. So from here is 15.6. Okay, so that's the distance. The question says find the distance between N and T. That means from here to there. First of all, how do we find this angle? From the previous diagram, we know that this angle here, you can see this 20 is a Z angle. So from here, it's 20. So we can note that this side is what? At 20 degrees. And then the remaining from here to here is what? 70. So if A is also giving us what? 30.2, that means we can find this angle by saying 70 minus what? A, giving us this remaining angle. Okay, so we'll do that here. 70 minus A, and then A was giving us 30.2. So 70 minus 30.2 is giving us 39.8. So it means this angle is 39.8 degrees. Okay, so now that we know this angle here, we know the angle here. So the angle here plus the A, this is the angle there. Okay, this is the angle. This small angle here. That's what we have found here. Because total here is 70 and A was 30. So we subtract and then we get 39.8. Okay, so we need to find NT. Find the distance between NT. We can use the trigonometric ratios to help us solve this. Okay, so when we are able to use cos of this angle is going to give us what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, because this is also a right angle triangle. KNT is a right angle triangle. So if we need to find NT and we know this angle, we can see that cos 39.8, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is what? NT length, okay, over hypotenuse. In this case, is the 90 degrees. So the side facing the 90 degrees is the hypotenuse. That is 12. So we are looking for NT length. So let's make NT length the subject. It becomes 12 times cos 39.8. So we have 12 times 0.768 and times the 12 is giving us 9.2194. Actually, this value is, after typing everything on the calculator, this is what I'm getting to 4 decimal places. So I can take it to 1 decimal place. So since the measurement was in kilometers and this is a distance, I have to add NT length is what? 9.2 kilometers, and I'll say to 1 decimal place. So we've been able to find everything that we've been asked from the question. Thank you.